Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a basic crochet beanie for a newborn. To make this beanie you're going to need the following. Obviously you're going to need some yarn. You can see this is not a full skein of yarn, but if you have leftovers, this is a great way to use them up. You can make hats for, gifts or to donate, whatever you like. I am using worsted weight yarn. This is Red Heart Soft in the Deep Sea colorway. I'm pretty sure that's correct. If it's not, you'll see right here somewhere. All you're going to need to do for the yarn, if you don't want to use this exact same yarn, just make sure you get a soft yarn. Make sure that it's worsted weight or medium, number 4, whatever, however you read the wrappers on the skeins, and just make sure it's soft because it's going to be next to a baby and they tend to have sensitive skin. I recommend something that's machine washable. This is acrylic, so you can throw it in the washing machine, but if you want to use a wool, just make sure it's a washable wool. You don't have to, but a lot of people with newborns are not going to have time to, hand wash things. You're going to need a tapestry needle to weave in your ends. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're also going to need a crochet hook, and this is a size H. It's a 5.0 millimeter. It's not focusing for some reason, but that's the side. There you go. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you're going to need to do is to make a magic ring, magic circle, magic loop. It gets called a variety of things, but you just need to make one. So here's how you do it. You're going to take the end of your yarn, hold it like that, and wrap the yarn around. Pull or put your hook through this strand, over this strand, and pull through. And then for this pattern you're going to chain 2. For this pattern we are pretty much disregarding the chain stitches. You're going to notice that we don't work back into them. I'm basically using them just to get from one row to the next, basically height-wise, and it just fills in the seam a little bit. I know I sometimes will get that question, so that way I just wanted to mention that, just so that way no one thought I was, not doing it deliberately. Okay, for the first round you're going to need to do 12 double crochets into the loop, so where my fingers were at. So to do a double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook through the loop, yarn over and pull through. So you should have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2. And yarn over and pull through the last 2. So you just made your first double crochet. Alright, so we're going to just do that 11 more times. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this round and I'll come back and show you where to join. So I've done 12 double crochets. If you count along, you actually have 13 bars, I guess, but the first one is this chain, and again, we're not counting it. Alright, so when you are done with your double crochets, you're going to take the tail from your magic ring, magic circle, and you're going to pull it tight. Okay? And now we are going to slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet that you did to join the round. So that is right here, right there, under both bars. So you can see that there's the chains from the 2 chains, 1 chain and 2, and then there. We're just going to basically insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop that's on your hook already. Okay? And then again, you can pull that tight, but I will just wait till the end and secure that later. Alright, we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to do 2 double crochets into every stitch around for a total of 24. And the only tricky part that you're going to have with that is, of course, there's this that we are disregarding. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to do 2 double crochet into the same chain that you just slip stitched in. So basically right at the base, so where that gap is right there. Two double crochets in the same stitch. So another one right in the same place. And then you're going to do the same thing for every stitch around. So just 2 in that next stitch. And then just go ahead and work all the way around. I'm going to come back once I've reached the next to last stitch, so that way I can show you exactly where your last stitch should be. Okay, at this point I have done 22 stitches, not including the chain, and you can see it looks like I have 2 stitches left to work into, but I don't. I'm going to do my last 2 into this, basically the next stitch. Okay, and then I am done for the round other than joining. Again, it looks like there's another stitch, and if you worked into that, you're going to end up with 2 extra stitches. The way that you can tell is, see, it's at the base of the chain 2, which means we're not going to work into that. We are going to slip stitch into the first double crochet that we did on this round. So you can see there's 1 chain, 2 chains, so we're working in right here, which is at the top of this double crochet. So we're just slip stitching. And someone's car alarm is going off, so give me a second and I'll wait till that's done. Okay, now we're going to chain 2 for round 3, and again we are going to do 2 double crochets into the same stitch that we did the slip stitch into. Okay, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 2 into the next stitch. Again, we're doing double crochets. So 2 into that stitch, 1 into the next stitch, and you're going to continue to do that all the way around. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and I'll come back at the end of the round to show you exactly where to join. Okay, I'm almost at the end of the row, so I've got these last 2 stitches to work into, and you can sort of tell if you're having a hard time. I know that I used to, when I first started, I would always add a stitch and it would always be right there. That was just sort of my gift, and so I thought I would just reiterate that a little bit. But you can sort of tell if you look at the line of that, so you can see the space there. So you're working through this stitch and this stitch, and if you worked into that, you're technically working into the top of a stitch that you've already worked into. Alright, so we're doing 2 in this stitch, and then 1 in the last stitch, and then we're going to join in the top of the first double crochet, so right here. So do a slip stitch, there we go. Alright, and that is the end of round 3 and the beginning of round 4. You are going to chain 2, then you're going to do 2, then you're going to do 2 double crochet into the same stitch that you slip stitched into previously, And then for the next 2 stitches, you're only going to do 1 double crochet into each of them. Oh my goodness, I'm having a problem today. There we go. Okay. And then you're going to do 2 into the next stitch. This yarn is a little slippery and my fingers keep slipping off of it. And then 1 into the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet into that stitch, and then the next stitch 1. And then you're just going to follow that all the way around. You're going to do 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So I'm going to go ahead and work my way around. Okay, so we're ready to do the last double crochet. Then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet that we worked on this round. Slip stitch. There you go. Now this is it for the increasing round. From after that, we're basically going to be working the same number of stitches. You should have 48, again not including the chain 2. Now if you want to make sure that your gauge is the same as mine, what you're going to want to do is just get some measuring tape. This is only if you you know, want to double check, but if I lay going across the center, if I lay a measuring device in this since it's a measuring tape, it is 1/8 of an inch short of being 4 inches. Or if I want to do centimeters, it is like 1/16 away from being, no, that's 1/10 from being away from 10 centimeters. So it might actually be exactly 10 centimeters, but it should be thereabouts. Now this of course does stretch a little bit, and depending on the yarn you're using, it may stretch out even more. But you know, this I just find works the best for the newborns that I've made hats for. Alright, so now we are going to just chain 2 for the next round, and then we're going to do one double crochet into the same stitch that you did the slip stitch in, like all the previous rows, except this time it's 1. And then for every stitch around, it's going to be just 1 double crochet. So yeah, usually people in patterns will call that work even, because you're not increasing or decreasing. So, and you should have 48 stitches for every round. And then when you get to the end of your round, you're going to just join the same way that you've done before. So just do the slip stitch into the first double crochet that you worked in the round. So in that instance, it would be right there. And then you're going to want to do that for 8 more rounds. So you'll have a total of 12 rounds. So I'm just going to go ahead and work until I'm basically at the end, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like and give you, you know, show you what it should measure and all of that. Okay, so I have done 12 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So all you have to do is just join with a slip stitch again, like we've been doing the entire time. And then what I like to do is do another slip stitch into the next stitch. I just think it finishes a little nicer, but that's just a personal preference. And then go ahead and bind off, and then you can go ahead and snip the yarn. But before you do that, if you've never made one before, what I recommend doing is going ahead and flattening it out, just flattening it down, making sure it's even, and then measuring it. Mine is 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 inches, or 13, yeah, like 13 and about 13 and a half centimeters. So that size is perfect, I think, for babies. Of course, all babies' heads are, you know, they're different, but, you know, we sort of have to just go off the average. And if it's too long, you know, they can always roll it up. I actually was at the hospital when my niece was born, and when they brought her a hat, you know, from people that had made it, and it was too long, but they just rolled it up. Easy peasy. All right, so all you really have to do now is just go ahead and weave in the ends, and then you're done. Now I wanted to mention, you know, if you want to make it, of course, you know, and I mentioned making it longer, but if you want to make it shorter or whatever, you can just continue to do that. The same thing goes for if you need to make it bigger, you just do more increase rounds. Okay, so just weave in the ends and you're all done. Now the one on the inside, I'm gonna be honest with you, I will knot this. I will just loop it through and knot it once, because I find that it just makes it a little bit more secure when it goes through the washing machine and everything, but you don't have to if you don't want to. These are really great for charity, you know, if you want to make hats for charity, because they really don't take very much yarn. This is actually the yarn I have left over. You can see it did use quite a bit of the inside, but of course those are the smaller rounds, and then this is the other one. I could probably get one out of this leftover yarn, and maybe I have to do a stripe with another contrasting color, but yeah. And I wanted to show you the seam. This is the reason that I do my seams the way that I do. Yes, you can see that there's a seam. I mean, it is noticeable. It's not invisible completely, but if you have the hat on, and I'm trying to do this without knocking the camera over, when you wear the hat, it's actually going to stretch out a little bit, and I find that that's less noticeable. If you don't do it the way that I did, what ends up happening is you have a big gap, and that to me stands out more than this slight too closeness when the hat is not stretched out. So all right, well, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and do that if you want to, and like and all that, thumbs up, whatever. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram as Crafting with Claudie, Ravelry Crafting Claudie. I have a website, Crafting with Claudie. Yeah, I'm usually Crafting with Claudie, and I'm not Crafting with Claudie and I'm Crafting with Claudie on Facebook too. But Ravelry was just too long, so I had to drop the with. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you guys want to see maybe bigger sizes of this hat so you can see the counts, like the stitch counts that you need? Let me know. Maybe I can just do a blog post or something instead of a full tutorial if you'd prefer that. Just, you know, like to hear y'all's opinions. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.